All right, Portal Party fans, we've got a lot to discuss on today's show. It's going to feel real Duke heavy because a lot of people are saying Duke is the way too early top team when it comes to basketball. Kyle Filipowski decided that he was going to return. Jeremy Roach is testing the waters, but it feels real returnish if he wants to make a nice run. We'll talk about if Duke is real potential to defend their ACC championship as well as take home a bigger piece of hardware.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You know, it's always interesting. Back in the day, we used to talk about guys testing the waters, dipping their toe. There used to be a time when guys couldn't even dip their toe. They had to be all in, all out when it came to deciding about the NBA. But that is not necessarily the case in this day and age when it comes to college basketball. Jeremy Roach is testing the waters when it comes to the NBA draft while maintaining his eligibility. Kyle Filipowski decided he wants to stay at Duke a little bit longer, some unfinished business, if you will. Kyle Filipowski's return has sparked a lot of people to say, listen, the Blue Devils are the best team here in the nation already. Call it, claim it, Shire and the boys. You see some hardware hanging some banners when it's all said and done. Kenton, welcome to Locked On ACC. I think we've got lots to cover on today's show.
These triangle teams can't fool me again. Y'all got me one time buying into the hype. But in the words of the big Aristotle, Shaquille O'Neal, you can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game.
100%. Welcome to today's edition. Make sure you check out Locked On ACC wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got a lot going on here. All the teams we like to talk about. We got some football, basketball action happening in this spring, soon to be off season, but good content nonetheless. As we go through this episode, make sure that you just subscribe, give us some comments and feedback in real time. All right. So Kenton, Kyle Filipowski returning to Duke, did all the pomp and circumstance, the announcement, gave the whole, I feel like I have more things to do. I want to come back and win. Cool. I definitely thought Kyle, with who he is and his stature, what he brings to the game, draft seeming a little weak to me, he probably had a good chance to go make some money.
Yeah, Duke, he just did y'all a solid. This is, I'm a firm believer in get paid players, do what y'all want to do. But I also know when players have money still on the table to be made. I don't think there's a ton of money on the table for Kyle. I think that, again, people know who he is. Like, even if he breaks out next year and has a spectacular season, unless he shows things that nobody knew was in his bag, like unless he does things that are otherworldly for him, it's like, we know who you are. Congratulations on getting better at doing it, and that's great. But you're probably not going to be projected as a number 1 or 2 pick in any upcoming drafts.
Definitely not that, but I think he's pretty much a Plumlee with a fancier name, respectfully. Plumlee has had a nice little career. The blonde-haired one? No? You don't see the vibe? You can't see the vision? You can't see the vision?
Listen, okay. I rock with Plum Dog Millionaire, the Detroit Pistons legend that he is. Kyle Filipowski a little better than that, okay?
A little better?
A lot better, Candace. He's a lot better than that.
Hey, but my point is Plumlee is in the league doing his thing, so why is Kyle wasting his time in Durham? Like, go ahead and make your money, young king.
You saw what happened to the other Plumlees? They TV is playing Sabado Gigante at 8 p.m. Okay? That's what's going on. So, sure. I don't – again, I think that Kyle is above the Plumlee level per se. I think that he is a lot of what the modern big man is. Again, the limitations in terms of lateral movement and all that they just are what they are, right?
He a little stiff. Call it what it is. He could use a little ballet, a little Pilates in the off season. I'm sure he has access to that, at Duke.
And here's the thing. This is why I say, like, if he puts up, 25 and 12 next year, right? Fairly efficient, all that good stuff is, a fairly decent rim protector and all that, and rebounder, and a really good rebounder, nobody's going to be like, oh, no, we didn't know Kyle was this last year. Like, nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say, oh, no, we didn't know he could shoot last year. We didn't know he could finish around the basket at a decent level last year. We didn't know this. Like, it's going to be
loved a good block party, all the things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be, we know who you are. We know you. We know your game, buddy. We know it. We've seen it.
So what would you think would make him stay? I mean, you won an ACC championship. That's a good little bolt to the resume. You talk about, what you want to do during your time in college. Is it the championship run that he's eager for? Is it doing it with the teammates, the new classes coming in? Like, I don't see the draw, especially in today's game, especially if people are telling you have an opportunity to make some big money. It's clearly not about the money for him.
Yeah, that is clearly not about the money. Maybe he wants the legacy. Maybe he wants a national championship, all that good stuff. Maybe that's what he values.
But, like, you're not getting the Christian Laettner legacy. You're not getting the J.J. Redick legacy. Like, what legacy are you looking to create here in the game it's very hit or miss? I'm always having to learn a new roster over there in Durham.
It doesn't matter what team you're on. It doesn't matter how many national championships your team has. If you hang a banner, you've hung a banner, period.
But you beat UNC twice. Like, you've done all the, like, checkbox things as a Blue Devil. Like, what more do you need?
If you hang a banner and you walk away with one of them fat rings, that's something that nobody can take away from you. You know what I mean? Even if you are what your NBA floor projection is, even if that's the guy that you are, right? And you've pulled the wool over all of our eyes, and you're, G Leaguer at best. Nobody can ever take away that ring from you. Which I don't believe he's a G Leaguer. I'm just saying that's his absolute floor.
Yeah, I don't think he's a two-way player, but I also feel like at the end of the day, when you look at Kyle Filipowski and Duke, it's not even I wanted to test the waters. I'm coming back, right? I didn't even want to see what my profile was, what I need to work on, what I need to improve. So I really think that speaks to what you're saying. Like, we pretty much know where it is. Like, the kid just wants to be a Duke.
Yeah. Maybe he just loves Duke's campus. He just loves the brotherhood, as they call it, and that means a lot to him. I mean, listen, sometimes
I'm not knocking it. Listen, I just love how, like, when it comes to talking about UNC, you have this, like, quirk about you. But when you talk about Duke, you can just, like, be very nonchalant and vibe with it.
Yeah, because I don't have no problems with Duke. No problem to him. More power to them.
You don't have no problems with Duke until I talk about their football team. That's fine.
I don't have a problem with their football team. I don't have no problem with them. Because I didn't.
You had a problem with them in their 6-game win.
So because I didn't believe they win 6 games, I got a problem with them. I don't believe
you didn't believe in them.
I don't believe Virginia will win 6 games next year in terms of football. I don't have a problem with that team. I don't think that, like, I hate them.
You have a problem with that coach. Like, we don't have to digress.
I don't have a problem with Tony yet. Well, I do not have a problem with Tony.
Okay. All right.
Again, Virginia Tech and Coach Pride. I don't have a problem with Coach Pride. I don't think that's a 6-win team next year. I don't have a problem with them. I just don't think that's a 6-win team.
See how we get here. We're supposed to be here. We're supposed to be talking about basketball. See, can't even say it. We're supposed to be talking about Kyle Filipowski and Duke.
But my point is, if I don't have I can think that you're not going to be successful and not have a problem with you. I like Coach Pride. I like him a lot. I don't think that team's get 6 wins.
Okay, well, Plumlee with some gumbo sauce, is just gonna be right on fine.
I'm disrespecting that man. Stop that. He is not a Plumlee with a Gucci belt. Please.
Plumlee, there we go. You're feeling the vibes. All right, we're gonna talk about not only Kyle Filipowski, but Jeremy Roach's decision to stay and test the waters, halfway stay, wade in the water type of vibes. But first, looking for a delicious snack, but don't want all of the sugar and calories, and you need to taste the best protein bar ever. Built is something that you must try. Healthy and it tastes amazing. Seriously, so amazing you won't even think that they're good for you. And more important than that, they're 100% covered in dark chocolate, real dark chocolate, that is. And they come in unbelievable flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and cookies and cream. I'm not sure how Built does it, but the bars taste just like candy bars while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better is that they are healthy, only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 13 grams of protein. Go to your local Walmart or Sam's Club while you can still get your specialty flavors at Built.com. Again, if you're close to a Sam's Club, you can get a 13 box, or if you're at Walmart, you can pick up a 4 box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puff. All of that sounds delicious. Make sure you try out our friends at Built Bar. Rocking and rolling with Kenton Gibbs. We're talking through Duke, who could be the number one team in the country because Jeremy Roach could come on back. He could find himself a new home. Now, when you think about Jeremy Roach, you talked about pretty much know what we're getting. Do you feel about Cal Filipowski? Do you feel that way about Jeremy Roach? Do you think he's better off going ahead and trying his best to be a two-way player, maybe even a solid guard in the NBA, or go ahead and be a college student one more go?
Jeremy, come on back. Stop playing with these people and wasting their time. Jeremy, stop playing. Stop. It is players that are actually trying to get looked at by them coaches out there, and you out there messing around. But bring your tail back. Come on.
Why don't you think Jeremy is draft worthy? Is it because he's been there so long? Like Kyle is, you only been there so short. What are you saying for? You've already gotten this nod of like, all right, you got it. Jeremy, on the other hand, has never gotten the, all right, you got it. Go ahead. What you doing? You wasted your time here.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What does Jeremy Roach do at an NBA level?
He's really talented, IQ on point. You know what I'm saying? Great floor general, great
He's
assists.
Really talented at what? He's really
assisting.
Oh, so he sets up offenses at a really high clip. Okay, I like it. I like it. Who would you say is his comparison in the NBA? Who would you say Jeremy Roach's playing style reminds me of this guy?
Now you know I'm not no comp queen. Maybe Fred VanVleet. And he took a very unorthodox path to get to the NBA, and now he balling. Yeah. What's up? What's the other boy? What's the other boy who played? Kyle Lowry. There we go.
Jeremy, stop wasting those people's time.
Kyle Lowry compared comp? They can't be. I'm thinking of like short and stouts.
Jeremy Del Monte Roach, stop wasting them people's time and go back to Durham. Stop it. Stop playing.
You didn't acknowledge my comps, or is that not close?
I'll tell you this. Kyle Lowry, you're in the area. I feel it. I get where you're going. VanVleet, that's a little tougher for me. That's a little tougher.
Who is your comp for Jeremy Roach?
I don't have one because I don't think that he's an NBA player. He's going to
be a baloncesto baller.
Hello.
Him and Armando are going to be on a team together.
My brother in Christ, I heard that the Guangdong Tigers have an absolutely amazing insurance package. I've heard that they take care of their citizens over there, boy. I heard that healthcare over there be bussing. Life expectancy 80 plus. Crazy.
Honestly, I think a Euro team is going to be pretty elite from some of these guys who are in their 4th and 5th year in college basketball. Armando, Jeremy. At this point, Jesse's looking good. Jesse Edwards, even though he should be going to the league, but he playing with his food.
I'm gonna tell you, Kobe's dad was playing over in Italy, right? Jelly Bean Bryant, none of them are him. Go on, bring your tail on back. Come on.
So make your money. But I mean, what is NIL money to Jeremy at this point? And maybe that's all there is to him at this point.
I mean, hey, maybe NIL money ain't hitting like that for you, Jeremy. Sure, whatever. With that being said, again, I heard that Lithuania's weather ain't great this time of the year. I heard it ain't great. You know what I mean? And LaMelo
He's
Ball
going to Puerto Rico for sure.
LaMelo Ball ain't playing over there no more. They ain't there in those games on Facebook Live. My brother in Christ, come on back.
Yeah.
Back to Duke.
So him coming back, let's talk about the fact that Duke still with Proctor could be a very good team, whether it's Jeremy, whether it's Proctor leading at the guard position. I feel like Duke is going to be a problem next year. You're very much on mute.
That's a very legitimate thing. He's a good college player. And this is the thing. When I say stuff like this, a lot of people like to get in arms and say, who is he? He's calling him a bad player. No, there are plenty of very good college players, even great college players that when they go to the league, I'm looking at you, Tyler Hansbrough. I'm looking at multiple players. Not just Tyler Hansbrough. I'm looking at multiple players that in college, you were the man. And then that NBA game, brother, it hits different. And it's not for you. And that's Jeremy, come on. You and Proctor will be a great 1-2 punch. It'll be good. It'll be so good. You can mentor Proctor and all that good stuff. Yeah, it'll be great.
So you think Shire pretty much has a solid look next year to be defending ACC champions, repeat, and be a Final Four team?
Yeah, they bringing almost everybody. Did Lively go to the draft? Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, they're bringing almost everybody back. They'll be in contention for one of the top.
Mark Mitchell, and Derek Whitehead is leaving.
Yeah, they're bringing back a good group, bringing in a good group as well. And like I said, Jeremy Roach ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. So
yeah, there could be there could be a coaching position or something like that. We saw Jefferson take on that role when he graduated, and the league didn't quite work out for him. So I think there's always going to be that Duke family situation. So yeah.
Jeremy, they need a guard coach, baby. Emil don't know how to coach the guards. You know what I mean? Is Nolan still there? I thought Nolan left. Did he leave?
He went to Louisville. Where have you been?
Yeah. He went to Louisville. Jeremy, there's a spot for you.
He might not be at Louisville much longer. Anyway.
Hello. You better snatch and grab that spot, Jeremy. You better not go over there and play La Liga El Baloncesto. You better not go over there, brother. You better get your spot. You better get in your spot and snatch and grab it, because Nolan might be on the market real soon.
1,000%. Duke has been the topic of conversation for today's show, but it's even crazier the fact that we're talking about Celeste Taylor, who I mentioned at the top of the hour, who's entering the transfer portal. Kara Lawson's top player, Agent Zero, has decided that she does not want to return to the Blue Devils. She could still, we know the transfer portal is never final technically, but it's amazing to see her, big rollout video of wanting to return to college basketball for her COVID year, and then to find herself not in Durham. It's very interesting.
Celeste Taylor, what happened? What is going on? What is it? I'm confused. I know that this is the nature of the beast and all that, but a lot of these women who are leaving, I'm legitimately perplexed.
I guess has the women's game changed so much to where this is like they're treating it like the free agency of the men's side, and there's so many more offers, so many more opportunities out there. Because to me, the fall off between top teams and mediocre teams in women's college basketball is still pretty great.
I mean, I'm just confused because, again, I'm always a firm believer in, if you're going to transfer, let it be for a situation that's better for you, that's good for you, all that. Celeste, how much better does it get? And don't get me wrong, I know there are other teams with more talent than Duke. Not arguing that there aren't. But Defensive Player of the Year, leading scorer, you're going to get the shots. You're going to be the lead. You're going to be the leader of that pack. You're going to be the top dog. What's
one of the best stat lines in college women's basketball history?
Yeah, I'm very confused. You know what I mean? Did Kara say something wrong to you? Did you say something wrong to Kara? What's going on? Like, what's happening?
100%. I think just the landscape. Every single day, we're talking about somebody different entering the portal, trying to find a new home, and all of that stuff.
I'll tell you this: if both her and Haley Van Lith are going to championship contenders, that's really ugly and nasty. And that is exactly what many people. So, like, in that instance, that would be women's basketball becoming what everybody warned would happen with the transfer portal. Everybody warned that all of the mid-level or even good teams would just be feeder programs for the great teams. And if those two go to high-level championship teams, then the people who said that will have their moment to point and say, see, we told you about the thing, and this is the thing.
Well, to me, I'm kind of looking at it as, if you can't handle the women's ACC, good luck in wherever you go next, because this is a gauntlet of athletics in terms of women's basketball.
I mean, if they're leaving to go be with teams that are more likely to win championships, I guess
who in the ACC was it? I mean, Virginia Tech literally was in the Final Four. What are we talking about? It ain't like there's ACC programs that aren't pretty much contenders.
That's the part that confuses me. Y'all have the ability to do it. Yeah. Y'all have the ability to take your teams to that level. Y'all have the ability to make your teams that. Look at so many teams out of the ACC and what's happened with these teams that have led to the belief that, hey, the ACC is one of the best basketball. ACC women's basketball is the best, or at worst, a best, top two, and you can't really say they're Lord and two in terms of conference. the best team out of ACC always goes deep in the tournament. Always. So what are we doing here? What's going on?
It's silly at this point, but it'll be interesting to see where she lands. And the nature of this beast is, as much as we want to talk about football, it's not happening. I will say this, though, spring games are popping up. Kenton is going to be doing the next couple of episodes by himself, talking about some of these great programs, and looking forward to hearing that coverage while I'm away. But guys, always come back. Listen to Locked On College Basketball if you want more content, more in-depth analysis of this draft process, as well as some football content around the Locked On Podcast Network, because we're your team every day. We make us your first listen and more. We appreciate you always listening and vibing with us. Follow us on Twitter at Locked On ACC. Follow us again on social media, on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs. Until next time.